She was 45, world's top mystery writer. Then overnight, she vanished. 11 days of panic. Police, volunteers, airplanes, blank screens, no messages, no trace. 15,000 people searched 3,000 square miles. Her car sat abandoned at a chalk quarry with her gloves inside. Could this be her greatest plot twist? What really happened to Agatha Christie? Stay with me and unlock secrets behind the headline that stunned millions, rocked the press, and rewrote detective history. You won't believe the shocking truth. On December 3rd, 1926, Agatha Christie, the best-selling detective novelist in the world, vanished without a trace. She was 45 years old, famed for her sharp plots and unforgettable sleuths like Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple. That chilly winter morning, she left her home in Sunningdale, Berkshire, and disappeared into the crisp English countryside. Within hours, her car, abandoned, its belongings neatly arranged inside, was found at the edge of a chalk quarry. The note inside suggested she was going to Yorkshire, yet no one knew why or where, sparking confusion among friends, family, and police alike. For 11 days, the world buzzed with theories. Newspapers plastered her face on front pages. Volunteers combed moors on foot, horseback, even by airplane. And scene of crime fans scribbled maps and clues and fevered journalists. Every lead, no matter how slender, a glimpse of a woman resembling Christie, a cryptic telephone call, sent rumor mills into overdrive. Even today, her vanishing remains one of literature's great puzzles. 11 days that inspired headlines, debates, biographies, and countless retellings. But beyond sensational headlines lies a story of grief, personal crisis, and a remarkable comeback that reshaped her life and career. Early life and rising career. Agatha Mary Clarissa Miller was born on September 15, 1890, in Torquay, Devon. She grew up in a comfortable upper-middle-class household where her mother encouraged her love of stories. Instead of formal schooling, she was educated at home by her mother and later a governess. From an early age, Christie delighted in crafting tales of intrigue. By age 16, she had begun writing poetry and short stories, honing the skills that would one day enthrall millions around the world. Her first novel, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, was published in 1920, introducing the meticulous Belgian detective Hercule Poirot. The book was a success, and over the next 6 years, Christie published 8 more novels along with 2 collections of short stories. By 1926, she was earning more from her detective fiction than her husband was in his engineering career. Her crisp prose, memorable characters, and ingenious twists captivated readers and critics, securing her reputation as the queen of crime. Marriage and personal strains. In 1914, Agatha married Colonel Archibald Christie, a pilot in the Royal Flying Corps. Their daughter, Rosalind, was born in 1919, capping the happier chapters of Christie's private life. Archibald remained a loving husband and father during their early years together, supporting Agatha's budding career. However, the couple later faced mounting pressures, financial strains, the demands of fame, and tragic losses that stained her life with grief. August 1926 dealt Christie a crushing blow when her beloved mother passed away. Gladys Christie had been her closest confidant and editor, the first reader and trusted critic of her work. Devastated by this loss, Agatha sank into a depression unlike any she had known before. Around the same time, Archibald formed a close friendship with Nancy Neal, a younger woman who later became his lover. Though the affair was never publicly confirmed at the time, Christie sensed the growing distance in her marriage, deepening her emotional turmoil. The morning she vanished. On the morning of December 3rd, Agatha kissed Rosalind goodbye and set out for a routine weekend visit to a friend's house in the Midlands. She drove her Morris Cowley along winding country lanes. By late morning, however, locals spotted her car parked near Newlands Corner, overlooking the River Way. Inside, her handbag, driving license, and glasses rested on the front seat. A scribbled note addressed to her chauffeur asked him to meet her at a nearby station, though no such meeting ever took place. When Archibald returned home that afternoon and discovered the car, his shock morphed into alarm. He notified the police, convinced his wife had simply taken a trip. But when winter's chill deepened and Christie still had not returned, concern exploded into anxiety. She had left behind gloves, clothes, and her fur coat, items she would surely have taken if planning a long journey. Even more alarming, her signature was missing from her personal diary. The clues hinted at something far more serious than a simple outing. The mass search operation. Local constables quickly became overwhelmed. By day 2, the Dorset police enlisted Scotland Yard's help, marking one of the largest searches ever mounted for a private individual. Officers fanned out across heath and forest, from the Surrey Hills into Hampshire. Volunteers joined the hunt, farmers, hikers, even Boy Scouts, while motorcyclists and pilots scoured main roads and railways for any sign of Agatha Christie. Every inn and hotel keeper in southern England was alerted with her description and photographs. Meanwhile, newspapers ran daily appeals, printing Christie's portrait alongside the plea, "Have you seen this lady?" Postmasters, railway officials, and gas station attendants were instructed to report sightings. Telephones rang off the hook with tips, some genuine, most wild goose chases. Reports emerged of a mysterious woman boarding trains to Cornwall, writing frantic telegrams in Bloomsbury, or stepping off a ferry in Portsmouth. Each rumor fueled hope, only to be dashed by investigation. The country watched with bated breath as search parties grew in number and desperation. Discovering Agatha at Harrogate. On December 14th, 11 days after her appearance, the case reached a sudden, surreal finale. Staff at the Swan Hydropathic Hotel in Harrogate, about 250 miles north of Sunningdale, reported that a Mrs. Teresa Neal had checked in 2 days earlier. She seemed anxious yet composed, scribbling in notebooks and reading newspapers obsessively. When hotel managers asked for her full name, she could not provide one, and her British accent was inconsistent. Under polite but firm questioning by hotel staff, the woman eventually acknowledged her true identity, Agatha Christie. Christie appeared calm but confused. She claimed not to recognize herself or recall how she had arrived in Harrogate. Medical examination suggested she suffered from temporary amnesia, possibly triggered by emotional trauma. Police escorted her home to Sunningdale, where Archibald embraced her, relieved yet bewildered. Christie remained composed in public, handing interviews over to her publisher. In the weeks that followed, she refused to discuss her motives or memories, insisting it was a private matter she did not wish to revisit. Theories and public speculation. Almost immediately, theories sprouted across the nation. Some believed Christie staged her disappearance to embarrass her husband, exposing his infidelity. Others argued she sought publicity to boost book sales, noting how her novels spiked on bestseller lists following the incident. Tabloids suggested she planned murder in her own life to mirror her fictional tales, branding her a real-life femme fatale. Despite her gentle reputation, the mystery cast Christie in a new, shadowy light. Scholars today tend to favor psychological explanations. Her mother's recent death, combined with her husband's betrayal, likely triggered a breakdown. Modern biographers point to the era's limited understanding of mental health. Christie, unable to confront her pain, may have lapsed into dissociative amnesia. The sudden loss of identity and flight north could represent an unconscious escape from unbearable distress. While drama and scandal attracted press attention then and now, many experts agree Christie's vanishing act was a deeply human response to overwhelming grief. Christie's own account and aftermath. After her return, Agatha Christie remained largely silent on the events. In her 1977 autobiography, published decades later, she dedicated only a few pages to the disappearance. She blamed a temporary amnesia and claimed no memory of the 11 days. She expressed deep embarrassment and asked that her privacy be respected. Fans accepted her account, cherishing the mystery as part of her legend, but the gaps in her story fueled ever more speculation. Christie's personal reticence only added mystique to her public persona. Professionally, nothing deterred her creativity. In 1927, just months after her return, she published Sleeping Murder, the final Miss Marple novel, and The Big Four, a Poirot adventure. Her prolific output continued for 5 more decades, yielding classics like Murder on the Orient Express in 1934, and Then There Were None in 1939. Public fascination with her life, and especially her disappearance, grew alongside her books. People attended lectures on her psychology, visited the Harrogate Hotel, and pored over detective journals seeking coded clues in her words. Impact and enduring legacy. Agatha Christie's 11-day disappearance did more than spark sensational headlines. It cemented her status as an icon of mystery. The incident highlighted the blurred lines between her fictional world and real life. Readers could not help but wonder if the Queen of Crime would ever conjure a plot so bizarre. Over time, the event inspired plays, films, and novels that revisited or imagined her flight, proving its lasting resonance in popular culture. Today, Christie holds the Guinness record as the best-selling novelist of all time, with over 2 billion copies sold in 103 languages. Tours of her former homes, like Greenway Estate, draw global visitors eager to step into her universe. The Swan Hotel in Harrogate still features her portrait in published guest registers from December 1926. More than 90 years later, her disappearance remains a captivating riddle, one that reminds us even the sharpest mind can sometimes lose its way, only to emerge stronger, her stories richer for the mystery. Thanks for watching! If you love diving into Christie's greatest mystery, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and drop your theories in the comments.